You might be sitting on a small fortune right now and have absolutely no idea. Somewhere in a drawer, in a jewelry box, or at the bottom of a relative's belongings, there are old lockets that look like nothing in particular. Small, worn, occasionally tarnished, containing photographs or hair from people you don't even know. Pieces that most people would assume are worthless sentimentality, and some of them are worth hundreds, thousands, or in the rarest cases, tens of thousands of pounds. The difference between someone who knows and someone who doesn't is what this video is entirely. Starting with number 10. Number 10. Victorian mourning lockets with human hairwork. A small locket containing a lock of someone's hair, often woven into a decorative pattern with gold wire, looks deeply morbid to modern eyes. The hair has faded or darkened with age. The setting is ornate and heavy. The whole object reads as something from a funeral home rather than something with monetary value, which is exactly why these lockets get left in boxes at estate sales and priced at nothing. What the uninformed eye misses is that authentic Victorian hairwork, particularly when set in gold or silver with skilled craftsmanship, is among the most historically significant and actively collected pieces of the Victorian era. A gold locket with genuine Victorian hair, work in good condition, can sell for $400 to $3,500 at auction, depending on the quality of the metalwork and the complexity of the hair weaving. The very thing that makes it look morbid is the exact quality that makes it historically valuable. Number 9. Enamel portrait miniature lockets. A tiny painted face staring out from inside a small metal case looks peculiar and unsettling to most people. The portrait is of someone unknown. The colors have faded slightly. The surface of the enamel is often worn or cracked. The overall effect is more curiosity than decoration, which is why these lockets get left at the bottom of jewelry boxes and donated to charity shops where they sit unwanted for weeks. Enamel portrait miniatures, particularly those in gold frames from the Georgian or early Victorian period, are a specialist collector market with serious appetite. A well-executed portrait miniature locket in gold with original condition enamel can sell for $800 to $8,000 or more at auction, depending on the quality of the painting, the artist, and the maker's mark. The subject doesn't need to be identified. The craftsmanship is what the market is paying for. Number 8. Gold-filled lockets from the 1940s and 1950s. Gold-filled is mechanically bonded gold, not plating. It's significantly more durable, but because the pieces look old-fashioned and the gold content is not immediately obvious, they get priced at $4 and left in charity shop trays for months. Lockets from this era, particularly those with ornate design work and maker's marks, can sell for $150 to $600, depending on condition and craftsmanship. Known makers push considerably higher. The shape and style that makes them look outdated is the exact thing that makes them interesting to collectors of mid-century design. A gold-filled locket with detailed engraving or floral work and a name maker mark can be worth significantly more than its weight in gold alone suggests. Number 7. Lockets with hand-painted or enameled decoration. Lockets with tiny painted scenes, flowers, or portraits on the front in enamel look delicate and fragile. The paint has often faded or chipped slightly. The colors are muted by modern standards. The overall aesthetic feels precious but fragile, which is why these lockets get stored away carefully and never opened, never investigated. What most people don't realize is that enamel decoration on locket, particularly when the enamel is original and largely intact, significantly increases the value. A silver locket with a hand-painted scene or portrait in original enamel can sell for $300 to $2,000 at auction, depending on the quality of the painting and the condition of the enamel. The skill required to paint such tiny, detailed work by hand centuries ago is irreplaceable. Before we continue, if this is already making you think about a specific locket, subscribe now. The next video covers exactly how to safely open an old locket without damaging it, and how to care for any photographs or hair inside. That information could mean the difference between preserving something valuable and destroying it by accident. Number 6. Bakelite lockets from the 1920s to 1940s. Large lockets in chunky bakelite plastic look cheap and dated, like something that should have crumbled to dust years ago. The colors don't match contemporary fashion. The weight feels cheap rather than substantial. The overall effect reads as costume jewelry from a forgotten era, which is exactly why these lockets get ignored at estate sales and priced at nothing. Authentic bakelite can be tested at home using the hot water test and the semichrome test. Lockets in rare colors like butterscotch, red, or deep green, particularly those with carved detail or unusual shapes, can sell for $150 to $800 in the UK collector market. The size and color combinations that make it look impossible to wear are often the exact qualities that make it most desirable. Number 5. Silver lockets with original maker's marks and hallmarks. A plain silver locket, slightly tarnished, with a worn clasp, looks like something generic and worthless. The hallmark on the back is small and difficult to read. The maker's mark is just a stamp, but that stamp is everything. A silver locket by a known Victorian or Edwardian silversmith, particularly those from makers like William Hare Hazler or other documented Birmingham makers, completely transforms the conversation. A hallmarked silver locket with a recognizable maker's mark can sell for $200 to $1,200 depending on the maker and the period. The maker's mark is what turns an assumed worthless piece into something collectors are actively searching for. Number 4. Lockets containing original photographs. A locket that still holds its original photograph, particularly one with a date, location, or message written on the back, looks like a window into someone else's life rather than a piece of jewelry. The photograph is often faded, sometimes unidentifiable. The image quality is poor by modern standards, but to a collector or historian, a locket with original period photographs, particularly those with any identifying information, becomes a documentary object. A locket in gold or silver with original period photographs, especially if the locket itself is made by a known maker, can sell for $400 to $3,000, depending on the rarity of the maker and the historical interest of the photograph. The photograph doesn't need to be famous. It just needs to be original and intact. Number 3. Edwardian platinum and seed pearl lockets. Pale, delicate, almost invisible in photographs. Edwardian platinum lockets with tiny seed pearls or diamond accents set in intricate filigree patterns were the height of Edwardian luxury. The fine platinum wirework required skills that few contemporary jewelers possess. Because the aesthetic is so pale and fragile-looking, these lockets get overlooked constantly at estate sales and house clearances. A well-executed Edwardian platinum locket with original stones, in good condition, sells for $500 to $12,000 at auction, depending on the complexity, condition, and maker's marks. The fact that it looks impossibly delicate is precisely the point. That's what Edwardian jewelry was supposed to look like. Number 2. Double-sided lockets containing 2 photographs or 2 different images. A locket that opens to reveal 2 photographs, one on each side, looks like a sentimental object rather than something with value. The photographs are often faded and difficult to make out. The locket itself might be dented or worn. The whole thing reads as a personal keepsake rather than a collectible. But a locket designed to hold 2 photographs, particularly if it's made in gold or by a documented maker, and particularly if it still contains original period photographs, becomes a significant historical object. A gold or silver double-sided locket with original photographs and maker's marks can sell for $600 to $4,000 at auction, depending on the maker and the condition. The sentimental value is irrelevant. The historical documentation is everything. Number 1. Rolled gold lockets with intricate decoration and original contents. A locket in rolled gold. The gold mechanically bonded rather than plated, with intricate chasing or enameling on the front, and containing original hair, photographs, or other Victorian-era contents. Looks like a fragile piece of sentimentality rather than something with significant monetary value. The rolled gold is often mistaken for plating. The contents are often ignored as irrelevant. The craftsmanship is often underestimated. A well-made rolled gold locket from the Victorian or Edwardian era with maker's marks, detailed decoration, and original contents in good condition can sell for $500 to $5,000 at auction, depending on the maker, the quality of the decoration, and the rarity of the contents. The very thing that makes it look fragile and sentimental is the exact quality that makes it historically and monetarily valuable. But here's the one thing that connects all of these. Across all periods and all styles, the single most reliable indicator that an old locket is worth investigating is unexpected weight. A locket that feels heavier than it looks. A clasp that sits differently in your hand than you would expect. A solid gold locket feels fundamentally different in the hand than a gold-plated one. That weight has to come from somewhere. And base metals don't weigh the same as precious metals. If you pick something up at a car boot sale, a charity shop, or from a relative's belongings and think that's heavier than I expected, that's not a minor observation. That's a beginning. That's the start of a conversation with a qualified valuer. Trust that fee. The jewelry industry makes its money on the pieces that look impressive. The collector market makes its money on the pieces that don't. Every expert valuer in this country has a story about something extraordinary that arrived in a carrier bag from a house clearance, a locket that looked like nothing particular until someone paused long enough to ask whether it might be worth knowing more. The difference between that piece ending up at auction for thousands and ending up in a landfill is one person's willingness to look closer. Be that person. Tell me in the comments if you own anything that fits one of these categories. And if you have an old locket with contents still inside, please tell me what's in it. I want to know what stories are still locked away in jewelry boxes across this country. And if this video made you look at an old locket differently, share it with someone who's currently clearing out a relative's home. That share might be worth considerably more than you think.